Adina and Aaron, thank you. This is no easy job. You have to pin without hurting anybody. That didn't hurt, did it, Carl? No. Thank you for doing a very good job. The second symbol is the tying of the cord. Now, throughout the world, we have a symbolism of tying brides and grooms together. In Mexico, for example, did you know the bride and groom are actually tied together by a rosary? If you are Orthodox Christian in your tradition, you will have the tradition of hand fasting or hand fastening, where your hands are tied together. And the tying together symbolically again means that the bride and groom are uniting their lives. They are joining together physically, emotionally, and spiritually to be one. And so it is that you'll see the cord that will be used is a figure 8. And the figure 8 is a mystical symbol, a very ancient one, a Da Vinci Code. A figure of a symbol 8 means infinity. It means our love, like the love of God and Jesus Christ, will have no beginning and no end. I'd now like to ask Christine and Gavin to please tie the symbolic cord. See, ladies and gentlemen, the groom couldn't get away now, even if he tried. Now, if you're not Filipino, you might think, well, this is dramatic enough, but there is more to come yet. Now, throughout the world, there is a tradition, and it's very ancient. And have you ever heard the expression, the bride price? In all cultures, it is true that historically the brides brought a dowry, especially rich, beautiful brides. Hey, Evert, you've got a big dowry. However, you also, good women never come free, are they? Right, Carl? And definitely they're not cheap. And from the beginning of time, you had to pay a bride price. And in fact, the word wedding is actually associated with a ceremony where you paid for the bride. Now, in the Filipino tradition, this comes from the Spanish, there is a very beautiful symbolism. It is a ceremony of the aray. And the aray comes from the word aras. It is a Spanish gold coin. And traditionally, the groom must have the coins. He must show his bride these coins. And basically, the coins are saying, darling, see, I have enough to keep you in the style to which you are accustomed. I can support you. And this is an important part of the wedding ceremony. I'd now like to ask Dave to bring forward the symbolic coins. So you can count them out, Evert. Are you impressed? Do you think he has enough for you to support you? Do you have your hands out? Has your photographer got a picture of that? Okay. I like the smile that comes with it. I think it's really good. Just getting back to you. So now, as we've done all the preliminaries to the wedding ceremony, we now come to 3 sacred moments. Remember how I said at the beginning that there could be no sacrament, or other Christians would call this a covenant, before God, unless the people who undergo it do it freely and willingly. And that is why there are 3 very sacred moments in the wedding ceremony. The first moment is the moment when the bride and groom are asked if they've come here freely and willingly, if they know the magnitude of the commitment they're about to undertake, and if they're willing to undertake it before God. The second moment is, of course, it is the moment of the vows. And vows are said traditionally in the Christian faith, not only before all families and friends, but also before God and before Jesus Christ. And the third moment will be the moment of the symbolism of the wedding ceremony, the symbol of a sacrament or a covenant. They will be the rings. And I'll say a few things about that. So now, Karl and Evert, you have come here today seeking to be joined with God's blessing in the sacrament and covenant of holy matrimony. The commitment you are about to undertake is an extremely sacred one. For marriage is ordained of God, bringing man and woman together, that the two might become one. So I ask you, Karl, have you come here today freely, willingly, and without reservation to give yourself to Evert in holy matrimony?
Yes, I have.
Thank you. And Evert, have you also come here today freely, willingly, and without reservation to give yourself to Karl in holy matrimony?
Absolutely.
That's no doubt about that.
Absolutely.
Although it's not in the wedding books, absolutely is a perfectly good answer. So now I'm going to ask you you can either hold right hands or both hands. And that traditionally, in the English tradition, was called pledging your troth. It means it pledges the truth of your heart. It is, of course, the most sacred moment of the wedding ceremony, where you, Karl, and you, Evert, pledge your love before God, Jesus, your families, and your friends, and all the people you love. So, Karl, I ask you to repeat after me as you look at Evert.
I, Karl, take you, Evert,
I, Karl, take you, Evert,
to be my beloved wife,
you, my beloved wife,
to have and to hold you,
having to hold you,
to honor you, to treasure you, to be at your side in sorrow and in joy,
to be at your side in sorrow and joy,
in the good times and in the bad,
good times and in the bad,
and to love and cherish you always.
to love and cherish you.
Evert, I promise you from this my heart,
I promise you to listen
before God and all the days of my life.
before God and all the days of my life.
Thank you, well done.